Do you have the new Haley James album? On vinyl.
Nice. Yeah, I got a promo copy.
From the beginning, One Tree Hill had not only a defining look and tone, but a defining sound as well.
DJ Bobo? Where are the Executioners or the Chemical Brothers or anything?
I think it's really good you're fighting with Nathan again.
You do?
Yeah. Every time you guys fight, I get to hear new music.
Kids have a soundtrack to their lives. Most everyone is a music fan.
This one's for you, Haley.
So very early on, we wanted music to be a focal point of the show.
Hey guys, this is Kate Vogel from One Tree Hill.
We opened Trick in season 2 so that we could feature more bands and more artists.
Michelle Branch and Jessica Harp are playing a Trick tomorrow. No way! Yes, that's awesome!
It's almost like we made a mixtape every week. And I got to give my mixtape to millions of people and say, here's what I'm listening to and here's what I love.
As high as the moon, so high.
I'm proud that I got to shine a light on some greatness. I remember saying to Kate Vogel once, you were always great. We just had the vehicle that could shine a light on that.
It could still happen for you, Haley.
Oh, well, someday.
Well, some days here. I talked to Michelle. She wants you on the tour.
We had plans to send Haley the character on tour. And I said to Joe Davola, why don't we send Joy on tour as well?
They took musicians from the show, myself, the Wreckers, who was Michelle Branch and Jessica Harp, Bethany Joy, and Gavin DeGraw was on a lot of the dates.
And it sold out every city.
You could just totally feel the energy. The fans, they were like, what? This is like, it's like a live extension of the show.
How do you like Tyler Hilton?
It was a frenzy. It was something that I'll never forget.
The series toured again in season 6, this time for U.S. troops.
2 hours, they're going to Iraq, okay? That's real, and that's why we're here. We love you guys.
One Tree Hill fans had an enormous appetite for music, and the series became a destination for new and emerging artists.
You're Gavin DeGraw.
Yeah, that's me.
Had a new album out and was struggling, and we struck up a friendship and a relationship.
That alliance would give One Tree Hill its signature sound.
People know those notes when they start. They know that it's this place, that it's this group, that it's this family.
That song, I Don't Wanna Be, went platinum. It went #1. And that was a year after that record came out. And it was because of the One Tree Hill fans.
One Tree Hill!
This show has the most dedicated fans of anybody I've ever seen. When you meet them in person, they convey that passion and that energy.
They've immersed themselves in this little town of Tree Hill and, love the characters that inhabit it.
It's amazing to have all these people showering you with love.
It's like, oh, we're coming from France, we're coming from Australia, we're coming from London. I was like, you saved up all your money to come over here? That's dedication.
We've called on them throughout the years to bother the network, to get us picked up, to show up at the mall tours, to show up at the concerts.
People have invested 9 years of their lives. You go from junior high to out of college, and to think that this show was an ally to them at that time is very humbling.
With such a dedicated following, the show looked for more ways to reach out and connect.
We would always think about, if this were your favorite show, what would be cool?
Come on, we're all graduating soon. It could be like a last hurrah.
I bought Red Vines. You can't have a road trip without Red Vines.
What if the characters came to your town, and you were you, but the characters were the characters?
A contest was created, and fans across the country submitted videos to bring One Tree Hill to their hometown.
How about you come to us?
And a small Texas town became the principal location.
Action! This is it. Honey Grove, the sweetest town in Texas.
The first night we got there, James Lafferty and Antoine Tanner and I wanted to go play basketball.
The people showing us mad love, so happy to be here.
We just scrimmaged with the team for like a couple hours, and by the end of the scrimmage, the bleachers were fairly full.
You guys crashing?
No.
We know everybody in our school.
You won't tell anyone, will you?
Nah, it's cool.
When we shot the scenes outside, it was like a parade.
And it's like this huge experience for them as much as it is for the cast.
We made the front page of the Weekly Gazette.
We've really created bonds with the people who watch our show that no other show, I think, has really done.
think I'm gonna miss Honeygrove.
Yeah, me too.
One of the reasons you get to 187 episodes is you make the decisions with the show's best interest in mind and with the fans in mind.
Over the course of 9 seasons, One Tree Hill meant different things to different audiences.
For some people, it was a guilty pleasure. We did psychos and we did car crashes. We never set out to make it that way, and I think for many of our fans, it was not that. It was very heartfelt and very real.
Dance with me.
Sometimes we wanted the small moments to be the big moments, and other times we wanted it to be loud and scary.
I need a doctor!
And mysterious.
What's going on?
We wanted to leave people on the edge of their seat.
Action!
The cast and crew of One Tree Hill brought their A-game to every episode.
How you doing, champ?
I just want to get out of here.
At no time was it needed more than in Season 8.
Darkness on the Edge of Town was a great episode because it was so big. It was a hurricane and it was rain towers.
Kind of down on this rain thing right now.
Yeah.
And it was a car off a bridge, and then the dam broke.
Save him, and then save me, please. He's just a boy.
It was amazing to watch the crew and cast. I remember Jackson Brundage, who plays Jamie. That kid is so good in that episode.
You're gonna be my best man in our wedding, right?
Yeah.
We were all concerned about putting him in the car, whether he'd be freaked out about it.
Come on, I got you.
The fake rain and the car in the lake, all the bridge and the rain and stuff. I think that was fun.
There was never a moment where he didn't think it was a wonderful playground.
Nathan Scott passes to Lucas for 3 in the win!
The state championship game, that was a huge undertaking.
Yeah! It's good!
When the Ravens finally won the state championship and then Haley is hit by a car.
Look out!
Haley! That was not only a really big episode in terms of its ambition and scope,
It's bad, Peyton. It's really bad.
but emotionally, for the actors making the episode, for the fans, that was a big one.
But a daring storyline in Season 3 brought One Tree Hill its defining episode.
Somebody was talking about Columbine, and I remember every time they said the word, they would whisper it. And I remember thinking, you know, what a tragedy. Somebody should say something loudly about it. It was a testament to the studio and network that the executives trusted us to make that episode, because it could go very wrong. And the last thing anybody wants is that somehow we glamorize a kid in school with a handgun.
You don't have a record, Jim. You're a good student, and you're a minor.
Man, maybe this isn't as bad as you think.
This ain't Breakfast Club. Let's face it. This is the most any of us have talked in 4 years.
Just 100% every day, just so emotional.
That voice in your head that's saying there's no way out, it's wrong, Jimmy. Please, just believe me, it gets better.
I'm sorry.
No!
It was very challenging to our audience, but I felt like we had always gotten good story out of those challenges. We killed a beloved character in Keith Scott. I had a quiet instinct that it was a story worth telling. That episode was the cornerstone of us getting to Season 9.
Creative risk paid off again
Excuse me. Can you tell me what's happening?
when Keith returned in a landmark holiday episode.
Hi, Luke.
There are a lot of people who have lost someone. And in our episode, this kid gets to see his uncle again.
I didn't come here to make you believe in me. I came here to make you believe in you.
I think the show was at its best when it was a quiet ally to our audience. When somebody that I'll never meet was struggling with something, and they learned something from the show that made it a little bit better.
Most people are stronger than they know. They forget to believe in it sometimes.
From the conversations I've had with fans, this show has helped them through tough periods in their life. I think that's a testament to where the heart of our show is.
I am gonna miss you so much.
Why? I'm with you every day.
If that one sentence finds someone at a time where they're missing someone, that's a worthy hour of television.
Those moments touch the hearts and minds of cast members as well as fans.
Mark told me something really early on when I started the show, and he said, be in it. Just meaning like every moment, whether it be good or bad or challenging or being vulnerable or being emotional or just whatever that it is for that moment. Because if you're not in that moment, you're probably not going to take away what it is that you're supposed to.
We've been through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful here. And I think we're just so fortunate to have had an experience like this. It's one in a million.